Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. It's my high honor today to introduce our pastor of the day, Reverend Wes Sorrells from Monroe, Georgia. I first met Reverend Sorrells about 13 years ago when he and his beautiful wife Ashley moved to Monroe when Wes was called to serve as the youth pastor of the Methodist Church to which I belong. In subsequent years, he and Ashley have been blessed with 3 children. Now I believe Ashley's about 12 years old, and Hudson and Hayes. If they're watching this, I apologize, Hayes. They're twin boys. They're 9 years old, but Wes is somebody that he's taller than I am. He's somebody I've literally looked up to over the last 13 years, but more so I've looked up to him spiritually. He's a great man of God, and I'd like to tell you a little bit more about his service. Reverend Sorrells has been in the ministry for 16 years and is currently one of the senior pastors at Monroe First Methodist Church. He was born and raised in Athens. He attended Georgia College and State University, where he was an outstanding baseball player for 4 years. Subsequently, he attended Asbury Theological Seminary in Wilmore, Kentucky, where he earned a divinity degree. He also serves a fantastic local organization called NG3. It's a nonprofit which focuses on character development, basically mentoring small groups of high school students in the local area between Athens and our area. He was a great athlete in college, but he was also known to be a pretty fiery competitor. He brings that same fiery passion in making sure that our next generation knows Jesus, while also serving not just our church, but all God's children of all ages in Walton County. Wes, thank you for joining us today. I give you Pastor Wes Sorrells.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just call him Bruce, but it is an honor to be here. I was kind of a last-second addition yesterday about 2 o'clock with the phone call, but I've always learned to never turn down an opportunity to share the good news. So I am just so thankful to be here. The history of this room, I know y'all come in here all the time. So for somebody new like me to walk in and just be overwhelmed by the history and the heritage in downtown Atlanta and this amazing place. So thank you for having me. My wife wanted to come. She is a nurse in Monroe. She's a cancer nurse. So she spends her time with chemo patients. So I let her have a pass today. There's something that we say this time of year, or at least I hear it a lot, maybe you do too. It stops around the middle of January, but we say this phrase, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. What the heck does that even mean? What does Happy New Year mean? Does that mean we hope that you have a Happy New Year, or is it selfishly saying we're speaking it into existence that we are going to have a Happy New Year? I never really know how to take that. But I hope this year is happy for us. And I'm going to quote somebody. He's a theologian, and he just so happened to retire yesterday, is Nick Saban. And yeah, trust me. Well, I'm a Georgia guy, but I've got Smart's quote at the end. But there's something that Saban, and I think he actually got it from Lou Holtz, had a quote about being happy. He said, if you want to be happy for an hour, go eat a steak. If you want to be happy for a day, go play golf if you're decent at it. If you want to be happy for a week, go on a cruise. If you want to be happy in your life, ask yourself this question. If you didn't show up here tomorrow, would anybody realize you're gone? And if you answer that question, you will find out is, do you live a life of significance or not? Does what you do matter? I believe it does, and so do you, or you wouldn't be here. But it's more about the rules and things that we pass in this room is, do we do things, are we living a life of significance for our next generation, those that we see every day outside of these walls? So I'm an Apple Watch guy. I don't know if you're a Garmin or if you're I don't know. I'm an Apple Watch guy. I probably should take it off more than I do. But in the mornings when I'm getting ready, my little activity app reminds me a couple things. And what it says is, at least mine, is you didn't do so good yesterday. Make it happen today. Make it happen. So another great theologian in Dabo Sweeney was quoted as saying this: there's 3 types of people that we come into contact with. The first is a make it happen person. The second is a watch it happen person. And the third is that person that wakes up at noon and says, what the heck happened? So there's 3 types of people. You are make it happen people. Our state, our community is filled with watch it happen people. We call those the armchair quarterbacks. We call those the Monday morning preachers in my world, who email you on Monday and say the things that you should or you shouldn't have said, right? But you are make it happen people. So when you're making things happen this year, live a life of significance. Because years from now, no one's going to remember your salary. No one's going to remember the hours that you put in to your craft. No one's going to remember, well, they might, some of the things that you do in here. But what they're going to remember is, who did you love on? Who did you care for? Could you be counted on? Are you a man or woman of integrity? Did you do what you say and serve others, and did you bring change for the next generation? It's living a life of significance. It's being a make-it-happen person. And in closing, who do you want to be in 2024? I'm not a big fan of making resolutions because, well, it's just the 11th, and most of those are already out the window. If you've kept yours, congratulations. But who do you want to be in 2024? And as you're thinking about that, that's not as important as who God has called you to be. You are chosen in 1 Peter 2:19. You are a child of God in 1 John 3:4. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in Psalm 149:14. And my favorite, and I think for you this morning, Jeremiah 29:11, you are created for a purpose and of great work. So from a small town in Monroe, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being make it happen people, because our world needs more. And as Kirby Smart would say, keep the main thing, which is loving God first, loving others, and being make it happen people. Would you pray with me? Lord, what a special place this is. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for these families, these people that represent these amazing communities from the smallest town in Georgia to the biggest. Allow their work to be pleasing unto you. Go before them. Lead, guide, and direct them. Give them the strength, give them the courage, give them the wisdom to do great things and be make it happen people so we can live a life of significance for you. We love you and we need you. We thank you for what you did on the cross. Thank you for saving us when we have done nothing to earn it. And all God's people said, amen.